Salvete Discipuli. Capitulum duodecimum. Chapter 18. Literae Latinae. So in the 18th chapter, Latin letters. So we're still in the school setting, I guess. Let's check it out. Discipuli non modo numeros, sed etiam litteras discunt. The students not only learn numbers, but also letters. Parvi discipuli ut Marcus et Titus et Sextus litteras Latinas discunt. Small students or young students like Marcus, Titus, and Sextus learn Latin letters. Magni discipuli litteras Graecas et Linguam Graecam discunt. Older students or big students, and just like in English we'll say little or big when we mean young or older. Same way, the same customs, right? Big students learn Greek letters and the Greek language, Lingua, the Greek tongue. Lingua Graeca difficilis est. The Greek language is hard, difficult. Ecce omnes literae Latinae, quorum numerus est viginti tres, ab A usque ad Z. So look at all the Latin letters, which is number at 23, from A all the way to Z. Let's say A, B, K, D, E, F, G, H, I, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, X, Y, and Z. Literae sunt aut vocales aut consonantes. Vocales sunt A, E, I, O, U, I. Heterae sunt consonantes. Letters are either vowels or consonants. And we see the two outs, just like the other words. We got two like that. One I'm going to be either, and one going to be or in this situation. The vowels are A, E, I, O, U, and Y. The others are consonants. Etiam I et U consonantes sunt in vocabilis iam, vel, vos, quam, etc. Also, E and U, or I and U, are consonants in the words yam, vel, vos, quam, etc. and the rest. Literae E et zeta, ipsila et zeta, in vocabilis Graecis modo reperiuntur, ut in hoc vocabulo zeprius. Ides nomen venti qui ab occidente flat. The letters Y and Z usually found or just found in Greek words, like as in the word Zephyrus or Zephyrus. That is the name. It is the name of the wind which blows from the west. Ipsila et zeta igitur literae rarae sunt in lingua Latina. So Y and Z are rare letters in the Latin tongue language. In Lingua Graeca, frequentes. In the Greek language, frequent, common, rare and common. Ca lettera quae frequens est in Lingua Graeca, littera Latina rarissima est. Nam ca in uno vocabulo latino tantum reperitur, ides calendae. Itemque in praenomine caeso, quae praenomen Romanorum rarissimum est. K, the letter K, which is frequent in the common in the Greek language, is the rarest Latin letter. For K is only found in one Latin word, that is calens. And also in the praenomen caeso, that is the rarest Roman praenomen, the rarest praenomen of the Romans. Hoc vocabulum amica, quinque litteras habet, et tres syllabas amica. This word amica have 5 letters and 3 syllables. Amica. Quaeque syllaba vocalem habet, ergo numerus syllabarum et vocalium idem est. For which the syllable have a vowel, and which syllables have a vowel. Therefore, the number of syllables and of vowels is the same. In prostrema syllaba, huius vocabuli, eadem vocalis est a. In the first and in the last syllable of this word, the vowel is the same. It's the same vowel, a, and amica. Sine vocali syllabi fieri non potest. Without a vowel, a syllable cannot be made, or not able to be made. Fieri, to be made. Consonants per se syllabam non facit, sed semper cum vocali eadem syllabi iungitur. I think I missed one. They're talking about consonants. I think I did miss one. Anyway. Hold on, let me check my folder real quick. Okay, that's the one right here we skip. The vocalis es lettera quae per se syllabam facere potest, uta syllaba prima facit in vocabulo amica. A vowel is a letter in which you are able to make a syllable within itself, per se, with itself. Ut a syllabam, like a makes the first syllable in the word amica. So a vowel itself can be a syllable per se within itself. Consonants per se syllabam non facit, sed semper cum vocali eadem syllabi iungitur. Consonants does not make syllables from itself, with itself, but always with a vowel and the same syllable joined in the same syllable. In exemplo nostro, cum I iungitur, en syllaba secunda mi, et ca cum a in syllaba tertia ca. In our example, M with is joined with I in the second syllable me, and C joined with A in the third syllable ka. Cum syllabi iunguntur, vocabula fiunt. When a syllable is joined, it makes a word. Words are made. Cum vocabula conjunguntur, sententiae fiunt. When words are conjoined, they are made. Sentences are made. Ecce duae sententiae, lingua in ordine est, et lingua Latina difficile est. So look at these two sentences. The mouth is inside, the tongue is inside the mouth, and the Latin language is hard. Vocabulum primum utrique sententiae idem est, se hoc idem vocabulum duas res varias significat. The first word in each of the sentences is the same, lingua. But this same word means two different things. See? But this same word significat means signifies, which means right. Duas varias, different, We can see the word vary, right? Variety means different, same things in Latin and things. A lot of these words you can know the definition of because we still use a lot in different ways. Item waruya vocabula iandem rem well iundem hominem significare possunt ut ostium et janua dominus et erus sed erus est vocabulum multo rarius quam dominus. Likewise, different words are able to mean the same thing or the same people. Ut, like ostium et janua, door and door. Dominus et erus, master and master. But erus is a word that's much more rare, rarius, much more rare. That form is meaning more rare or rarer than dominus. Qui litteras nescit, legere non potest. He who don't know letters are not able to read. Magister qui pueros legere doget, ipset libros latinos et grecos legere potest, nam is utramque linguam scit. The teacher who teaches the boys to write, to read himself, and are able to read himself or able to read Greek and Latin books, for he know each tongue or language. Quomodo parvus discipulus hanc sententiam legit, miles Romanus forteriter pugnat. Miles Romanus forteriter pugnat. So how does a little student, a young student, read the sentence? Miles Romanus, the Roman soldier fights bravely. How would he read that sentence? Discipulus quamque litteram cuiusque vocabuli sic legit miles Romanus. So miles Romanus. Try to sound it out basically by sounding things out like we do. A student read thus each letter. Now seek means thus, thus. You got different meanings based off what. And I don't want to waste too much time, but shouldn't be capitalized, so even in English, thus as written, used to indicate, for example, the text is being quoted as it is from the source. It's thus so. So the student reads thus each letter of each word. Ita quoque vocabulum cuisque sententiae a discipulo legitor. And so, another meaning, thus also. So, each word of each sentence is read by the student. In hoc sententia vocabulum fortiter nomes, se qui vocabulum fortis scit, hoc vocabulum quoque intelligit. Na miles fortis es miles qui fortiter pugnat. In this sentence, the word fortiter is new, but he who know the word fortis, this word also knows, also intelligit. It's like knows, but it's like understand. Mostly you can use that for understand. Hold on. This word is also understood for a soldier who's brave as one who fights bravely. For a brave soldier is a soldier who fights bravely. Basically they're saying if you know fortis, brave, you should know fortiter, bravely. In ludo puerina modo legere, sed etiam scribere discunt. In school, the boys not only learn to read, but also to write. Quisque discipulus in tabula sua scribit, ea sententias quas magister e dictat. Each student writes on his own tablet those sentences which the teacher dictates to him. Ita puer scribere discunt. So the student learns to write. The boys learn to write. Magister discipulis imperat. The teacher orders the students. Promite regulas vestras et lineas rectas ducite in tabulis. You say, take out your rulers, regulas vestras, and write a straight line, draw a straight line on your tablets. You're using ducite as draw in a sense. Tum scribete hoc sententia. Homo oculos et nasum habet. What do you say? Right. They said, then write the sentence. A man has eyes and a nose. Quisque puer stilum et regulum promit, et ducit lineam rectam in tabula sua, tum scribere incipit. Each boy take out stylus and regular, pen and ruler, and writes or draws a straight line on his tablet, then begins to write. Discipuli iandem sententiam non eondem modo, sed variis modis scribunt. The student writes the same sentence, not in the same way, but in different ways. Sextus unus ex tribus pueris recte scribit, homo oculos et nasum habet. Sextus, one out of the three boys, writes correctly. Titus sic scribit homo oculos het nasum habet. Titus thus writes, you can see he write one thing wrong. Oculos. Marcus vero sic homo oculos et nasu habet. So y'all see, you see when Marcus, he gonna be a bad boy. See, he don't know. That's what happened when you don't pay attention in class. Magister dici date mihi tabulas pueri. Give to me your tablets, boys. Discipuli magistro tabulas suas dat. The students give to the teacher their tablets. Is tabula quisque pueri in manus sumit, literasque et orum aspicit. He takes up the tablets of each boy in his hand and looks at their letters. I don't know if you get that really. Let's say his tablets, which is the tablets basically, East is like he, but we, he. Sumit picks up with his hand, in his hand, each of the boy tablet. Looks, basically, that que, you can say that, and looks at, I speak it, letteras e orum, their letters. Quales sunt literae sexti? How are Sextus's letters? Pulchrae sunt, they are beautiful. Quales sunt literae Marci et Titi? How are the letters of Marcus and Titus? Literae orum fuedae sunt, ac vix legi possunt. Their letters are ugly and are barely able to be read. Magister sua quique discipulo tabula redit, primum sexto tum Tito, prostremo Marco. The teacher returns each student their tablet, first Sextus, then Titus, and lastly Marcus. Atque inquit pulchre et recte scribi sexte, facile est tales litteras legere. And he says, beautifully and correctly you write, Sextus. It's easy to read such tales, letters. I usually see that like written as talia, but in this case you see a different form, tales. At literae vestrae Tite et Marci legi non possunt, fuede scribitis pigri discipuli. And you say, but your letters, Titus and Marcus, are not able to be read. You write ugly. Y'all write ugly. Both of them. Lazy students. Magister titum et Marcum severe reprehendit. The teacher severely scolds Titus and Marcus. Certe pucerimae sunt literae sexti, sed mea literae pucerius sunt qua Marci. Titus dici, certainly my letters are more prettier. My letters, certainly Sextus' letters are prettier. But my letters are, well, certainly Sextus' letters are the prettiest. But my letters are prettier than Marcus. And that's what he's teaching in these ones. These also, we already learned it, but we get more of it. Redite mihi tabulas Tite and Marci. Return to me your tablets, Titus and Marcus. Titus et Marcus tabulas suas redunt magistro, qui ea simul aspigit. Titus and Marcus returns to the teacher their tablets, and which he looks at them together. But simultaneously, right? Magister litteras Titi comparat cum litteris Marci et inquit litterae vestrae aeque foedae sunt tu Tite, neque pulchrius neque foedius scribis qua Marcus. So the teacher compares the letters of Titus with the letters of Marcus and says, your letters are equally ugly. You, Titus, neither prettier nor uglier. Right, you write neither prettier nor uglier than Marcus. Ad certe rectius scribo qua Marcus. I certainly write more correctly than Marcus. Facili est rectius qua Marcus scibere. It is easy to write more right or more correct than Marcus. Nemo in impriarius scribit quam ille. No one is able to write worse, more erroneous than that boy. Non orputet se comparare cum discipulo pigerrimo ac stultissimo. It is not opportune. That's why we're trying to think of another word that's similar in English. Opportune, but not opportune. What were we using the last one? We use right. We use important. So it's not opportune to compare yourself with the laziest and the stupidest student. Comparate cum sexto, qui rectissime et pulchrissime scribit. Compare yourself with Sextus, who is the most right and who writes the most correctly and the most prettiest. You can see it don't matter how long it is, we can tackle it. Take your time. Tum se vertens at Marcum dicit. Then he turns himself to Marcus and says, Tu non modo fordissime, sed etiam pravissime scribis Marce, nescis Latine scribere, puer pigerimus et atque stutimus. You not only write ugly, but also you write the most errors, the most erroneously. And that's agile, agile, erroneously. You don't know how to write Latin. You are the most lazy and stupidest boy. But I'm drilling them now. Yeah, Marcus multos severius reprehenditor quam Titus. Now Marcus is being reprehended much more severely than Titus. Marcus, a part of our vocia titum, Marcus, in a small voice to Titus, Magister dicit me prave scribere, ergo litteras me as legere potes. The teacher says that my words are incorrectly, that I write incorrectly. Therefore, he is able to make out my letters. At magister qui verba Marci exaudit inquit. But the teacher who hears out loud exaudit the words of Marcus and says, Litteras tuas terpes legere non possum, sed numerare possum. Quator litteras de esse cerno. I got a new concept, de esse, which just means mistake or error. Basically saying to be out, technically. He said, your letters are ugly. I am not able to read, but I'm able to count them. 4 letters I discern, basically cardinal mistakes. I make out 4 mistakes in your letters. Aspice in vocabulo primo et in vocabulo postremo eadem littera h deest. Look, in the first word and in the last word, the same letter H is missing. So that's another way I make out 4 missing letters. So missing, mistake, those type of words. Based off the context, you'll be able to use which one. At semper dico homo habet, but I always say homo habet. And he right too, because the H is a silent letter. When you speaking fast, you really hear the H's, unless like you read, if you listen to my videos, like on purposely trying to say each letter so you can hear it. But if I say it in my head, a lot of times that's how I speak. And that's how most people gonna sound. Certain things you ain't gonna hear. Non semper idem dicimus atque scribimus. Not always we say the same. We say the same as we write. We don't always say the same things, same as we write. Which is true. En vocabolo secundo u de est en cuatro m. And your second word, u, is missing. And the fourth, m. Qui significant haec vocabula torpia hoc los et nasu. What is the meaning of those ugly words, hoc los and nasu? Talia verba Latina non sunt. Those words are thus, basically, again, it's like tale. Such words are not Latin. Nullum rectum est vocabulum praeter unum et. No word, you got no word right except one, it. Atque it vocabulum est frequentissimum et facillimum. And it is the most frequent and easy word. It. That's the only word you get right. Quotor menda in quinque vocabulis. Now that's mistake. Menda. 4 mistakes in 5 words. Nemo ter in tam brevi sententia tot menda facit. No one else makes that many mistakes in such a short sentence. And so short of a sentence. Magister stilo suo adit litteras quae desunt, ita menda corrigit. The teacher with the stilos adds the missing letters, which basically adds the missing letters. Trying to think what quae in there for. So he corrects the mistakes. Tum vero nec solum inquit prave et turpiter, sed etiam nimis leviter scribis. But then, not only, he says, wrongly, incorrectly, and uglier, but also too light. You write too lightly. Has lenias teneus vix cernere possum. I am barely able to make out those thin lines. These thin lines. Negus est te stylum gravius in ceram premere. It is necessary that you press premere. It is necessary to press your stylum heavily, gravius, hardly, or what we say, hardly. Heavily, like heavily is another way you can say that. because graus mean heavy. So heavily in the wax. Keram. Discipuli in Kerra scribunt. Nam tabulae eorum Kerra or periuntor. Or periuntor. The students writes in wax. For their tablets is covered with wax. Kerast materia mollis, quam apes bestiolae industriae faciunt. Wax is a soft material which bees industrious or hard-working little beasts mix. Stilum caraviter premo sed Kerra nimis durest. I heavily press the stilus, but my wax is too hard. Aliam tabulam damihi. Give me another tablet. Give to me another tablet. Haekerra propeta durast quam ferrum. This wax is nearly as hard as iron. Ferrum est materia dura, ex qua culturi gladii stili ariaeque res multae efficiuntur. Iron is a hard material, dura, that which knives, swords, and pens and other things are made. Magister Marco iandem tabula redit. Magister, the teacher, returns to Marcus the same tablet. Hold on. Magister Marco iandem tabula redit et Kerra tua inquit. And says, your wax tam mollis est quam sexti, et facile est eius letteras legere. Your wax is as soft as Sextus, and hers letters are easy to be read. His letters are easy to read. Summe tabula tua et scribe ha litera decies. Pick up your tablet and write the letter H or ha 10 times. And decies, when you see that ES at the end of your numbers, you know what I mean? Times. Something times. Marcus decies ha scribit. Marcus writes H 10 times. Tu magisterium u sexies scribere ubit et Marcus qui iandem litteram toties scribere navut u scribit. Then the teacher orders him to write u, which is you in our language, 6 times. And Marcus, who writes the same letters, who does not want to write the same letters, writes ooh. and basically want to write all toties. Quoties Marcus u scribit. How many times Marcus writes u? Marcus ut pigere discipulis quater tatum u scribit. Marcus, who was like a lazy student, writes u 4 times, only 4 times. Only writes 4 u. Diende magister totum vocabulum. Then the teacher, Diende magister totum vocabulum nasum quinquies scribere iubet. Then the teacher asks him to write the word nasum 5 times. Or orders him to write the word nasum 5 times. Et Marcus scribit nasum, 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 nasu, nasu. Then Marcus writes Marcus ter recte et bis prave scribit. Marcus correctly writes 3 and twice incorrectly. Three times he write correctly and twice incorrectly. Tum Titus qui duas litteras desevidet sic incipit. Then Titus, who sees that he writes 2 missing letters, thus begins Magister Marcus bis cum Marcus stylum durum in partem corporis eius mollissimam premit. Then Marcus, or when Marcus presses premit, the hard stylus in the parts of his body, the softest parts of his body. Titus tacit nec finem sententiae facere audet. Titus shuts up nor dares to finish making his sentence. Magister vero hoc non anima advertit. But the teacher does not notices this. The teacher don't notice this. And anima advertit basically means like turned and seeing an action. Turn to see something happening. Basically notice. Iam totam sententia recte scribe. Now write the whole sentence correctly. Marcus interrogat, quoties, how many times? Marcus asked. Magister breviter responde, semel. The teacher responded briefly, once. Another word for, you can see the word brief come from brevit, short or brief. Marcus totam sententiam intero ab initio scribere incipit. Marcus begins again to write the whole sentence from the beginning ab initio. from the beginning. Homo hoculos. Still wrong. Qui significat hoculos? What do you mean by, what is it meant by hoculos? Magister Inquit says, illud vocabulum turpe non intelligo. That word, that ugly word, I don't understand. Non hic quoque litera deist. There's also a letter missing, is it not? There's also not a letter missing, right? And that's why, like, that's how English, we like to do the negative sentences. We'll say right at the end. We say it's not another letter missing, right? Imo vero non est, at superest h litera, num tu hoculos dicis. On the other hand, it's not missing, but too much super est, basically the opposite. You see, de est missing, super est will be too much. Got too much letter H. Let's look that up and see if we have a better way to say that. I know we still got English words that's still similar. Survive, leftover, superfluous. That basically most likely is leftover too, but you got too much, right? And excess of what is required, right? Excessive, extra, all those words can be used. That's why I like to use in the dictionary, because you can get other ways of saying the same things. You don't say hoculos, right? Marcus ut puerum poribus magistro verba sua redit. Marcus, like a bad boy, returns the teacher's words to him. Non semper dicimus idem atque scribimus. Say the same thing back to him. We don't always say the same as we write. Take probe. Shut up, boy. Delelam litteram. Delete that letter. Marcus stilum vertit et litteram ha delete. And we can see the word delete in this, so that should show you. Delete. Erase. Marcus turns to the tablet and erase the letters H. Simultitus idem mendum et undem modo corrigit in sua tabula neque verum magister hoc animad vertit. Simultaneously, Titus corrects the same mistake in the same way in his tablet. But the teacher does not see this or notices this. Let's do that while we still have time. attain, focus, concentrate, notice. That's what we use. Observe, take note of. Postremo Marcus, lastly Marcus inquit, says, Quare incipit. He said, Nos scribere doces magister. He said, why? He begins, we learn, why we need to learn, basically, to write. Teacher, mihi necesse non escribere posse. It is not necessary for me to write. Nunquam domi scribo. I never write at home. Num pater tu semper domi est. Your father always at home, right? Non semper saepe abes pater meus. Saepes pater meus. Say, not always, often my father is away. Cum pater tuus abes, or protet te epistulas ad eum scribere. When your father is away, it is right or opportune to write him letters. It is opportune for you to write him letters. Ego frequentes epistulas ad patrem meum absentem scribo. Sextus inquit. Sextus says, I often or frequently write letters to my fathers when he's absent. Sextus puer pobus est, acta impegere quam apis. Sextus is a good boy and as industrious, hardworking as a bee. Ego ipse non scribo, sed Zenoni dicto. Zeno est servus doctus, qui et Latine et Graece scit. Idem servus mihi recitare sole. I don't write myself, but is dictated by Zeno. Zeno is a learned servant, excuse me, who knows Latin and Greek. This same servant usually recites to me. Magister calimum et carta promit, et ipse scribere incipit. The teacher picks up the calimum, which is another version of a pen, and paper, and himself begins to write. Isse nim calamo in carta scribit, non stilo incera ut discipuli. For he writes on paper with a calamus, or pen, not a stilo and wax like the students. Cartax papiro efficitor, ides ex alta herba, quae in Egypto apud nilum flumen reperitor. Paper is made from papyrus, that is from high grass, tall grass, which is found in Egypt by the Nile River. Carta et papyrus vocabula graeca sunt. Carta, paper, and papyrus, paper, are Greek words. Marcus magistrum scribere anime vertit et unque interrogat. Marcus notices that the teacher is writing, and asks him, Qui tu scribis, magister? What are you writing, teacher? Epistula inquit ille ad patrem tuum scribo, breviter scribo te esse discipulum in probum. A letter, says that man, that teacher, to your father, or writing to your father. Writing briefly that you are a bad student. Magistro scribente Marcus praves scribis inquit syllabi in superes deleam syllabam et scribe discipulum probum. While the teacher is writing, Marcus says, you write incorrectly. The syllable im, you got too much im. It's a plurius. The syllable im is a plurius. Delete that syllable and write discipulum probum, not improbum. While the teacher is writing, Marcus says you write incorrectly. The syllable im is too much. Delete that syllable and write good boy, good student. Tace puer improbissime. Shut up, you the worst boy. Nihil deleo, and deletes nothing. Imo huero vocabulum aro. In fact, I'm adding a word. Te discipulum in probum atque pigrum esse scribo. I'm writing that you are a bad boy and you're lazy. Scribe probum atque in pigrum. Inquit Marcus. Write good and industrious, says Marcus. Nec huero haec verba a magistro ariuntor. But neither this is heard, but neither these words are heard by the teacher. But these words are not heard by the teacher. Diodorus qui diem epistulae adereunt discipulos interrogat, quis dies es hodie? Diodorus, who wants to add the date to the letter, asks the students, what is the day's date? Basically, what day is the day? Titus responded, Hodie calendae Juniae sunt. Today is the June calends. Recte dicis, you speak correctly. Calendae sunt hodie. Today is the calends. Ergo date mihi mercedem. Therefore, it is to give me my wage or pay. Give to me my pay. Merces es pecunia quam magister quoque mense a patribus discipulorum accipit. A pay, a wage, is money. The wage is the money that the teacher accepts each month from the father of the students. Discipuli calendis quisque mensis mercedem magister suo afferre solent. The students usually brings on the calends of each month the pay for the teacher. No, I say that wrong. Magister suo, to their teacher. The students usually brings to their teacher a wage on the calends of each month. Sextus et titus statim magistero mercedem dant. Sextus and Titus immediately gives to the teacher his pay. Marcus Vero mercedem secum non fert. But Marcus does not bring the pay with him. Magister antequam epistula signat pauca verba adit. The teacher, before signing the letter, adds a little word. Quid lux scribis? Why are you writing now? Interrogat Marcus asked Marcus. Scribo te mercidem ad diem non afferre. I'm writing that you do not bring my pay, the pay, on today, on the due date. Responded Magister, responds the teacher. Atque epistulam signat, annulum suum in ceram imprimens. And he signs the letter, or seals, right? The letter with his ring, pressing his ring into the wax. Okay, that's the end. Yep. That one was kind of long, but as you can see, we can going faster. We getting used to saying the same words most of the time. Most of these are the same words from each chapter, with added new ones here and there. But we getting used to the same words in the same formats. So we're gonna see you in the next one. Valete.